Hey guys, well, it's July 5th, so why don't we take a look and see if any of the pruning helped in terms of ripening the tomatoes and the peppers. We have had heat sometimes in the hundreds over the last couple of days, and no matter what I've been doing, because I have 6 fans in here, I could not get the heat down out of the high 90s. So I'm hoping, because I had to leave the greenhouse alone for a couple of days, it was really stressed in here. So I'm back in, I've been watering. Let's take a look and see the results. Okay, so we've got some progress here. After we pruned those peppers together, what I did was I just left them alone. So they were left alone the whole long weekend. And as you can see, I'm thinking between the heat and the pruning, this actually helped. Let's just cut some of these off. Take a look. The colors are beautiful. Wasn't really expecting them to be so bright. This guy's started taking on a nice orangey bright color. Let's see what else we have here. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what else we got behind here. Ooh, this one looks good. Look at this. Check out that one. Look at the colors on this guy. Got another smaller one in there. Oh yeah. Check out this one, guys. This was one that we pruned together back before, just before the long weekend. Look at the colors on this guy. Hey, hold on. It's J for my name. There we go. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful colors. I mean, I'm thinking that with all the heat, I'm thinking it just changed them over really nicely. And that's only in 2 days between the pruning and I'm thinking the heat. Really super beautiful. Love it. Let's see. What else do we have in here? Oh yeah, this one's starting to turn too. I'm thinking these are going to be going on nachos later. Let's see this guy. Awesome colors. Now what I'll do is I'll just, sit these out on the counter, and if we don't use them right away, then I'll just, just let them turn sitting on the counter. I try to tend to keep things out of the windowsill, and I'll tell you why. Even with tomatoes, there was an old sort of myth where you leave the tomatoes in the windowsill to help them ripen faster. But what happens with that is you'll get this, especially if it's a meaty tomato and you put it in the windowsill, sometimes what you'll get is you'll get a tomato that will have really hard, tough skin. And then because it's been sitting in the windowsill for, let's say, a week, it'll be mushy on the inside. So I try not to sit them inside, like just on the windowsill. I try to actually just sit them on the table or somewhere out of direct sunlight. They will ripen the same way. And that way your skin on your peppers or your tomatoes won't get, too tough to cut, which is kind of a pain. Beautiful colors though, guys. So the pruning, don't be afraid to prune your peppers. It works. It really does work. So guys, here's the progress of our tomatoes as of July 5th. As you can tell, they are beginning to turn a really dark orange now. There's only a couple that have started to turn, but I can now see some of them, especially this guy on top here, he's starting to turn as well. So we will probably be harvesting a couple of tomatoes, I'm going to say by midweek, maybe end of the week, depending on what the heat is like. But definitely exciting. Let's go take a look at some of the baby tomatoes and see what they're doing. Going to the baby tomatoes, I just have to actually walk through my wall of Hungarian wax peppers. Guys, I can't tell you how many bottles of hot sauce I've made and how many pickled peppers I've made with these. And actually what I've been doing is making dill pickles as well, and then taking just the small guys and dropping it with the garlic cloves in the bottom of my dill pickles. And I kind of cheated. I tried the dill pickles. They actually came out really good with a little bit of heat to them. So put a little garlic clove in there if you've got any, and then drop a little hot pepper in there if you can stand the heat. It really, really gives it a nice kick. So let's take a look if I can get into, here we go. Oh, look at this. Look at this. What's going on back here? I'm seeing little baby red tomatoes back here. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can get in here with the camera. Oh yeah. Check this out. Now I have several of these across the bottom. I just want to show you that the cherry tomatoes are good to go. So it looks like we're going to be doing some cucumber, feta, tomato salad. But it might even be to the point where they might not even make it into a salad, because if they're sweet enough, we'll probably just be eating them the way they are. But excellent. So we've got baby tomatoes, so that's a start. Let's see what else we have. I think it's time we cut some kale too, because the kale loves the greenhouse. I know sometimes people have difficulties sort of figuring out what to do with kale, but if you look up the health benefits of kale, it's amazing. And inside this greenhouse, or any greenhouse, doesn't have to be this specific one, it grows like a monster. Now I've had 4 or 5 cuttings off of this already, but you can make kale chips. You can dehydrate it if you want to. You can actually freeze dry kale. But hey, if you just want to have it cut up and sauteed and put in a salad or something like that, you can do that too. But the kale grows amazing. I've got another set of kale over here. You really have to be in charge of your groceries. You know it. You know it. It's not sprayed. You planted it. It's a sense of pride, too, for me. Sometimes I just like to cut the vegetables and look at them. So, guys, some really beautiful kale. And if you have never given kale a try, give it a try. I don't know, it's sort of reminiscent to me of cabbage, if you like cabbage, but we tend to just take this and eat it raw as a snack, maybe with a little bit of olive oil on it sometimes, but it's actually super good. Give it a try. Really easy to grow, not fussy at all. And just really quickly, there are a few questions just about growing Brussels sprouts. Now, Brussels sprouts can be tricky because they take so long to grow, but one of the tricks that I use is to actually trim sort of all the way up the spine of the Brussels sprouts in order for the sprouts to sort of accelerate. Now, if you take a look at these ones, I purposely did 3 just to show you. These ones have got to be probably about 4 feet now, and they look like little trees. So you leave the tops so that it still feeds, obviously, the rest of the plant all the way down. But then when you trim them, your Brussels sprouts will begin to accelerate. And what you'll find is if you are cutting and you see these little spines because you're afraid to cut to the edge here, these, if you cut here, these will eventually just fall off. And you'll see this on your plant, but that is basically just where, you know, these little branches just sort of fall off after you cut. They'll voluntarily fall off, and then, you know, you just pick them out of your garden and away you go. So these Brussels sprouts have began to accelerate quite nicely. You can see that they're putting on actually a nice size now that I've gotten rid of some of the leaves off of here. So don't be afraid if you see this where you come into your garden one morning and, you know, you see a bunch of these on the ground. It'll just shed those. It'll just shed the rest of the branch and then focus on growing the Brussels sprout on the plant. So time to cut some of our rainbow chard and harvest that too. These are next to the Brussels sprouts. So just going to cut some of this because Sometimes it can get away from you too if you don't cut it, but it tastes so good if you saute it with a little bit of butter and some salt and some garlic. Really, really good. Or you can have it plain. Great either way. Let's just harvest some of this. And you don't actually have to take the whole plant down either. This will keep growing. This is just like a weed. It'll just keep growing for you, no problem. Big, beautiful leaves. Lovely colors. Let's see if we've got some of this here. Look at the size of the leaves. Let's get some of this in the back here. The back is normally where sometimes I just don't get, because I always cut the front and I never get the back. Really great colors in here though, guys. Look at the vibrance. This is a vibrant pink. Ooh. Beautiful. All right, let's see what else that we have. This amazing little plant that's coming up out of the ground right now, guys, is peanuts. I planted peanuts in the raised garden bed. It does really well under the zucchini. And if you keep the leaves trimmed back, it helps keep it cool. It's hot enough in here. It doesn't need huge direct sunlight. So by fall time, we'll be actually harvesting some peanuts out of the raised garden bed. Really, really cool. That's what makes greenhouse growing so great too, is you get to actually experiment with things you'd never be able to grow, you know, sort of outside of it, because you're able to control the environment a little bit. So let's see how that goes. But I've already got one crop of peanuts out of here already. So this one is the last one. So let's see if we can harvest that one. I'm just swinging around right to the dill today. If you take a look, the dill is drying finally. So we've still got some that are still flowering. I have a mammoth dill here that's about 5 feet next to the sunflower. But if you take a look actually at the seed, it's ready to go. You can use it for, last night we had beans and we actually sprinkled some dill seed on top with a little bit of butter and a tiny bit of salt. Excellent, really, really good. So now what you can do with these is you can either take them off. I've been using them for dill pickling as well, and save them and replant them, however you want to do it. This is an heirloom, so if I save all these seeds, then obviously we can use these for next year and we don't have to buy any dill seeds. So ready to go. And guys, my sunflower is starting to curve at the top of the greenhouse. This sunflower, I mean, my dill is 5 feet. So this sunflower has got to be easily 8-9 feet big, tall, I should say. And each one of the branches, it's already starting to put on the sunflower at the top, but each one of the branches I'm seeing now is beginning to develop a sunflower head on its own. Really cool. I've never grown a mammoth sunflower before, so I didn't have the heart to pull him out, and he's gorgeous. Just amazing. So that's it, guys. We'll just keep it short and simple today. I just wanted to show you that the peppers are now starting to turn red. I'm no longer having to bring them in and ripen them inside. And also, the tomatoes are starting to come along. So is the entire greenhouse. And really, it's just going to be a matter of time, a couple more days, and we'll be able to take out a few more things. So thanks for joining me today. We still haven't even gone to the back 40 greenhouse, and we still haven't harvested from the outside garden yet, but that'll be another video. Thanks for joining me today. See you soon.